We are back from the winter break, but it's still winter. It's still cold as fuck. It was a cold day in Edinburgh, but Hearts left with the 3 points, and that is all that matters.
Was it a cold day in Edinburgh?
It fucking was.
I was there.
I googled it, and it said it was cold. Unfortunately, not at the game today because I had to work. Not fucking nasty 4-letter word called work, man. I hate it. I hate it more than Andrew Tate hates it. But anyway, we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about Hearts with a convincing 3-1 win. Even though Robbie Nielsen wasn't exactly happy with the performance and the result, I think it was a good performance. So I think Nielsen has been far too harsh here on the players. I mean, first half, Hearts
dominated. He looks like a mob boss with his haircut.
Yeah.
I'm like, the look, we Robbie Nielsen. Even if we didn't like his player's performance, I thought... Based off sports.
Well, rumour has it he's on the way to Turkey for a transplant, like, so I expect to see the old Robbie Nielsen return.
So is that Hearts' transfer news?
Yeah.
Transfer?
Well, Andy Halliday was first, and he says to Robbie, this place is alright. And Robbie's like, oh, how much was it? And Andy Halliday's like,
legit?
Aye.
Fucking hell, what's going on?
So, Andy Halliday first, and then of course Robbie Nielsen. Andy Halliday's been talking about how he's not been able to header balls and training, stuff like that. So there you go. Big Andy Halliday, there was a big header before he left. He was scoring fucking goals for all angles.
Anyway though, Josh Ginnelly opens the scoring ball over the top. Killie guy tries to clear it. Fucking disaster.
Yeah,
goalie doesn't come out again, don't know why.
I don't think it was Ash Taylor, I think it was the other defender who I'm not too sure who it was, but
that's a belter for him. I'm not sure who it was.
He goes for the header, but he mistimes it and he doesn't get enough on it, and the ball just goes behind him, and Ginnelly's there. I mean, it's a good finish for Ginnelly, don't get me wrong, but again, locked into this chance, and you feel like the goalkeeper, I think as soon as it happened, the goalkeeper should have come out to try and close down Ginnelly or try and get to the ball first. He didn't, and Ginnelly followed it in, but it was a good finish for Ginnelly. I'm not going to take it away from him. I think Josh Ginnelly's been one of the Hearts' standout players for the last year. So
yep, Ginnelly, I rate Ginnelly. You know what? See, Hearts, they've went for like the championship shite, and they've actually got established players now. I actually feel like they've got good players. You look at Killie, there's a clear difference between Killie and Hearts.
Well, they do. I still think on paper Hearts have clear third best team in the league. I think Aberdeen have improved a lot in the last transfer window, but for me, Hearts are still the third best team in Scotland.
Not based off that game earlier.
Well, definitely not based on that. But I look at Hearts, and I think unfortunately, I think they've got a squad where when you get to like it's summer or January, like they've got players that other clubs could be interested in.
Absolutely.
You can see clubs from England, like in the Championship, or whatever, having an interest in Shankland, having an interest in the likes of Ginnelly. If Barry Mackay ever finds his form again, having an interest in him. Likes a Halkett, if he can stay fit and not break legs, then people would have an interest in him. Cochrane as well, he's been impressive. Well, I know.
Defensively, he's shite like.
Sometimes I don't like him, but then other times he looks good. You know what I mean? Cammy Devlin as well. I mean, there's a lot of I think Hearts have a lot of players that...
World Cup footballers, brother.
Yeah, well, I mean, fucking half the Australian team pretty much play for Hearts, so I think Hearts, unfortunately... Well, it's a good thing, but at the same time, I think...
That's not a bad thing.
I think they've got a lot of players that might not be there in a few years' time. But, I mean, who knows? Robbie wants to build a team, so we'll see. We'll see.
Few weeks' time, but Hearts, clearly the best team in this first half. Killie doing absolutely hee-haw.
Andy Halliday brought down, and he was like, it was weird, because the majority of his body was inside the penalty box.
Part of his leg.
But the part of his body that was fouled was outside the penalty box, therefore, no penalty. But, I mean, if 60% of you's in the penalty box...
Yeah, we're clutching the straws here, man.
Are we? Aye. Apologies.
Robert Snodgrass whips it in. Who's at the back post?
Tell you what, it was a good delivery for Snodgrass.
It was.
That's what you need. See whip balls like that. Seeing you like watching non-Irish football, man, right? You can't get those sort of deliveries. These balls are just like literally pump it.
I'm always watching that shite.
No, but when you do, or you watch like fucking Scottish Highland League or something, you don't get whip balls in like that. It's just hit and hope. This was a great ball from Snodgrass. This is a great ball from Snodgrass, and Snodgrass is different quality. Ain't he? Like, I mean, Hearts are lucky to have him.
Oh, aye.
He might be old, he might be done. But you can still... See when a player gets old and they get past it, like... See if they were good technically back in the day, they've still always got it, like...
Aye.
I remember when Totty was getting old, man, he was like near 40. And, you know, he wasn't the player that he was, but he'd still be able to just fucking hit a shot or take a pass.
Mince and Totties.
Mince and Totties, you're like, that's a good Ultimate Team fucking series, isn't it? But I mean, my point is, like...
It's been done.
See, if you've got quality, right, you lose a lot of things. You lose, like, your pace, lose your hair, you lose a lot of shit, but you don't lose, like, technical ability.
Yeah, like Rocky Balboa still has the technical ability at the age of 75.
As Duke said, you know, power's the last thing to go in a fighter, so... Aye. You gotta throw those bombs.
You gotta fight for it!
Hearts threw 2 of them in the first half, so...
That's it. Cochrane makes it free, but it's offside. He's greeting Cammy Devlin's like, you wee bastard.
You know what? Cochrane should have done better here. I know I've been praising him, but he was in a lot of space. He didn't need to be offside, and he's like got a clear view across the pitch, so he can clearly see the line. He was like fucking practically level, but he was marginally offside. But he was looking directly across at the Killie back line, so he should have been able to time this. Big mistake for him. Could have been 3-0, it wasn't. Killie pulled one back in the second half. Can't remember how they done it, but they did.
It was basically identical to the Shankland goal.
Did you know that
really good free kick and Ash Taylor scores? And he's the only guy to score away goals for Killie this year.
He seems to go away goals. He's 6'5".
I paid attention to sports scene, alright?
He's 6'5".
Aye, and he's pish.
No, he's a big boy.
He's a big boy.
He is. And then to finish it off, Hearts though made sure that they got the win with Shankland.
This was funny. Shankland pushed the guy. The guy stuck his hand up. The appeal hit off his hand.
I didn't think this was a penalty, right? For the reason being is what you just said. He kind of pushed him. The guy is putting his hands up, and then Shankland's like head on the ball away from goal, and the ball hits the guy from behind, so he can't even fucking see it.
Did you see the penalty they were trying to get on Sands in the Hibs game, Rangers Hibs?
Someone called in and said, I thought it was a penalty. It must have been a Celtic fan or something, I don't know.
Right, so he's contesting with the Hibs guy. The ball's up in the air, they have no idea what it is, and it falls down from the sky, like bird's eye view, and Sands has his arms out like this and it hits him. How the fuck's that a penalty?
See, you know the thing, I see in football, man, you've just got a lot of spastics that can't admit shit, and I like to think
if that isn't the biggest ball to hand, if the ball literally falls from the sky, bird's eye view, and he's no idea what it is, that is ball to hand.
Yeah, I totally agree. Anyway, I didn't think this was a penalty.
Like, this one's just very fucking unlucky.
I didn't think this was a penalty, but you know what, Hearts got... Maybe they can... Do you think there should be like an indirect free kick or something? Or direct free kick? Some sort of... Something that you can give for accidental handballs that ain't a penalty?
Yeah, but where do you draw the line? That's the only thing.
Well, if it's... What do you mean? Where do you draw the line? If you think
the refs are fucked. Like, their opinion would differ each incident.
But I think there's got to be a better way to it. There can't just be a penalty. Since pretty much any handball now is a penalty, I think they should try and change it, whereas if it's ball to hand, then you get like an indirect free kick or something. Obviously, if it's hand to ball and you purposely handball it, then it's still a penalty. But I feel like this was harsh. Anyway, Shankland scored it. Hearts won 3-1. I thought Hearts played well. This win takes Hearts up into 4th place now. Only 1 point behind Aberdeen. Before today's game, by the way, Aberdeen, Rangers and Celtic were the only 3 teams with a positive goal difference in the league.
That's mad.
That's kind of mad, to be fair. And
however, Aberdeen, one of them.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Aberdeen today and you look at that performance, you're thinking, fuck me, how are they fared in the league? Doesn't say much for the rest of Scottish football. But I tell you what, they won't be. I guarantee it. By the end of the season, people were panicking, but Hearts had that European fixture list. They had a shitload of injuries. I think the only team that's had anywhere near the same amount of injuries as Hearts is probably Rangers this season. 2 teams that have been absolutely fucked with injuries. I mean, 2 teams that at one stage could have probably fielded a better quality injured 11 than starting 11. That is sick.
That's scary.
That is sick. So I think now that Hearts are, they've got this World Cup over with. Even the players that are still injured, like Benjamin, he should be back soon. So I can't see Hearts not finishing third. I think Hearts will finish third by about, I don't know, I'd say a couple of games in hand. They'll be clear of Aberdeen come the end of the season.
Easily. Where will Hibs be? We'll have to find out. But until then,
peace.